All right, intermediate class, take a look up here. All right, so what I'm going to show you with regards to your typography photos is I'm going to show you a couple different ways of how you can integrate the text in your photos. Okay, some of these ways is very similar to the examples we looked at from last class. So it's up to you which way you want to practice with it, but basically I would just do the practices that pertain more to the sketches that you're doing. So I'm going to show you the first example here. So I'm going to do this example with these double beaches. So we got this beach here, and then we got this beach photo here. And I'm actually going to put them both together because I'm going to do like with the type words, but I'm going to do like a double exposure photo with it. Oops. I didn't mean to double click it, but yeah, I'm going to use this photo and then the other one. So I'm just going to overlap these two together. And this is like one way you can do your photos. Actually, I wanted that to be part of the other photo. So I'm just going to put this photo, put this on top. So then I have two layers of this photo. So yeah, what I'm going to do with this one, so we've been using like the horizontal vertical type. So this is going to be you're going to utilize the type mask tool for this one. So I'm just going to click on the type mask tool. I'm just going to type beaches for this one. Alright, and then I'm going to change the font. So now when you're using the type mask tool, it is a little bit different. So when you click away, it's going to give you this basically just a selection of the words. Now, like, I can't really move the words now. It's not on a separate layer. So in order to actually change these words around, you're going to have to click on the so under your swatches. This is basically the panel for your quick mask. So this will allow you to move it around. Although I don't think I can change the text again. Okay, so I can't really change the text on that. So hold on a second. So if you do need to deselect the words, just to get rid of it, you can hold Command and press D as in dog. That'll get rid of it. So I did want to change the font on that, so I'm going to type in beaches. And then you just have to click and highlight it before you get rid of it. So, whatever you kind of commit with the quick mask tool, you have to kind of just use that, or you have to make another one. So I'll just use the, sort of font that's a little bit more bubbly. I'll just use this one. I'll just use the Arial black. So, alright, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to click on the quick mask tool again. And also, remember, another way you can resize your type tool is if you hold Command and press T as in turtle, you can hold Shift and resize your words. And if you want, you can stretch your words a little bit. Just don't stretch it too much, though. So I'm just going to stretch it a little bit, just so... I actually want this words to be on, like, the horizon line of my beach. So I have that selected, double-click it, so I'm happy with how this looks. And I'm going to go back to this option again. So if you make a layer mask, so you do layer mask, reveal all. So, one option you can do is you can use the brush tool, change it to black. You can change your opacity to 100. And then you can just kind of color in on that spot. And, what's happening now is basically the photo below is, it's basically erasing this photo using the layer mask is revealing that photo there. So that's one option you can do. I kind of like doing it the other way, though. So we've got a history. I'm going to go back a couple of spots. So I'm on my layer mask again. And one thing you can do that's really interesting is you can, if you go to selection here, so basically what's happening with these dotted lines is you're making a selection on certain parts. And if you go to select and you do the inverse of that, so instead of, when you click on inverse, instead of selecting these parts inside the words, it's going to select all the parts on the outside. So now when I color, it's going to select everything else. So now it's like the opposite of it. So what I wanted to do with this one was, and then did they select the Command D, and then you can kind of move it around and just like sit on the horizon line. So this is like, you know, one way you can, you know, like combine your photos together or integrate the text in it. So that was the one example they showed that you looked at last class. And then another thing you can do too with your photos is, I'm going to pull this one here. So that one's a little bit more advanced because that requires the layer mask. This one's a little bit easier to do. So I'm going to do just use the regular type tool. And I'm just going to type in water for this one. So again, it's really large, but you can always resize it. So we'll just use the same type. I don't want to take too long. So just double click, change the color. I'm going to probably use this yellow here. And I'm going to add one effect to it just to make it pop out more. We'll just add a bevel, a contour, and that's good. So another way you can integrate your type was, I remember one example had the words in the mound. So that one's a little bit easier. So all you can do is just make a layer mask on your words. And you know, this example here, I can just erase like the bottom part of the words. And you know, this will create the illusion that like the words are underwater. Or you know, if you want to like buildings, you can just erase parts of the words to make it into the building. So that's a really easy way to integrate the words. And then another thing, if you want to do too, is this is going to be showing how to like stretch and move the words to make it three-dimensional. So I'm just going to use the same type that I have here. So I'm just going to duplicate it. And so I have a copy of that. And then if you want to flip the words around, so if you're trying to like the one example we looked at last class was the shadows. So I'm actually going to do like a reflection instead, but it's like the same idea. So if you click on this layer here, you can go to edit, transform. So this is another way you can kind of like move things around the transform. If you click on flip vertical, it'll flip it upside down. So you can kind of line it up under it, and then you can change the opacity too, make it seem like it's underwater. And then like another effect you can do too is you can do like a transform on it, but you can't really transform the text though, which is a problem. So you're gonna have to right click on the your layers here. So make sure to right click not on the T, but where it says the water copy or the name of it. And then you got to rasterize the type. So when you rasterize the type, it's going to turn it into like an image. So you can't really change the type anymore. So you rasterize it. But the nice thing about it is if you rasterize the image is you can click on. So I did Command C to transform, and you can click on this grid thing. But basically, the grid thing will allow you to stretch out the words. So some of you are kind of curious how to do like that 3D thing with like the shadows. This is the way how you would go about with it. So you just gotta make sure to just click. Basically, you just click on these corners to move it around. I can't really move that one. Yeah, you just gotta like play around with it though. It's not really lining up with that. But you kind of get the idea, though. That one just takes a while to use, but you know you can stretch out your words like that shadow example. All right. All right. Any questions on that? I kind of showed you a lot of things.